I'm alive and breathing, living my best life. Love is on my mind and it's making me high.
Back on the beach and women's division action underway. Pool B in front of us. We have Pelt from Ireland with a couple of happy pickups from elsewhere, fighting against an almost all Zürich team here in the hot sun. Absolutely huge grab in this opening points. The lasses in green starting off on offense. And we are delighted to be here alongside myself, Hannah Panderbury. We have Jamie Rabbits jumping into the booth for his first ever commentary debut. Is that correct, Jamie?
It is indeed.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Lisa Hocking of Bristol Ultimate fame currently with the disc, throwing a blade across the top, just about missing the intended target though. A nice option, but difficult as the sun now beats down on the sand here in Royan.
Yeah, those downwind blades are always going to be tricky at the start of the game. Got to get your eye in.
So you, Jamie, are actually technically a coach of the player who just threw that blade for Pelt.
I am indeed, yeah. Lisa Hocking, one of the captains of Bristol Women this year, who I am part of the coaching team for. Picking up for Pelt this weekend, needed some extra legs. Starting to develop a bit of a Pelt-Bristol connection. We have some of their players helping us out at Windmill next weekend, as we see a bid there from Camilla Carosio and a goal.
That absolutely, really great bid, Carosio. A little bit of is that a joke celebration? It is. Taking a leaf out of Jess Chambers' book from Tom's tourney. Not sure I like the fake injury celebrations there, but yeah, not a bad way to open us up with a break for Zürich Swarm. Of course, both of these teams fighting it out in Pool B, neither able to snag themselves a win thus yet in the women's division here. But some relatively even performances, so we're hoping this one's going to be a close game.
I was watching a Pelt game earlier and I saw lots of big things from number 4, Emma Sexton, really running the offense, so expect to see that here for this Pelt offensive point. Yes, catching the ball.
Well, big responsibility. Pools, of course, pretty important in every tournament, but on beach, extra markedly so. Relatively conservative movement upfield for Pelt thus far, just not using all of their energy. Moving nicely. Oh, another lovely high grab. McKeown popping it round. Pelt changing to more of a horizontal stack. A little head shake from Sexton. Relatively, again, pretty chilled offense from Pelt, but managing to keep resetting the disc when they need to. But that one comes a bit unglued. Kjorn throwing herself down, but unable to grab that one.
Let's see what Pelt can do on defense here. An immediate point for the deep look from Emily Sai.
Kai putting one deep,
oh.
Manages to miss both of her players in the end zone. It's a pretty short line for, as we've just been spotted, in fact. Lisa Hocking has just realised that you're in the booth with me, Jamie.
She's under pressure now.
Absolutely, watchful eye of the coach. You're not just in the comments on our live stream, you are literally commentating. Big ripper of a backhand down this near sideline, but not enough air underneath it to be connected with.
An excellent effort there.
Yeah, Ava Lehan trying to run that one down. But decent yards. But maybe a touch too trigger happy. So, Swarm with the disc. Lots of players stretching into the deep space. Niederberger from Solabang, the sole pickup on this Zürich side. It's got a little bit of international flavour on it, but only because of where the players originate from.
Yeah, you often get that with Swiss teams, picking up players still living in Switzerland but originating from France, Germany, all over the place. Doing quite well so far at this point to isolate their downfield players.
Absolutely good timing and on the money into the end zone. Emily Kai with the second goal for Zürich. Emily Kai, one of the North Americans, currently residing in Zürich, but originally from Edison, New Jersey, and has played on some a couple of good teams, Jamie.
Oh wow, yes. I see BFG most recently there, and to add to that, Riot and Mixtape in the past, so some big names. BFG were planning on attending Windmill this year, unfortunately had to drop out.
Oh, that is such a shame.
Yes, would have been very exciting to see them match up against some of the European powerhouses we have. Absolutely.
Are there any teams in particular you think need taking down by some North Americans this season?
Well, the answer always has to be Hurt in Europe. Perennial favourites. Usually do carry a loss with them into the later stages, and it's often handed to them by a particular Reading Ultimate. But
well, certainly that was the case at Elite Invite this season, that Hurt did not even make that final. So
no, indeed.
So opportunities for teams to have a go at them. Sexton with the disc, finding Shannon. Actually, no, that's how you about that. That's Louise Murphy wearing the 18 shirt today. Across to Hocking.
Some excellent flow from Pelt. Oh, an unfortunate turnover there.
I don't think that was the one that Hocking drew up in her head.
No, I don't think so.
Trying to hit Hannah Wilson there. Wilson's 100th cap this streamed game for Pelt.
So another turn. Pelt signalling to be nice and chilly. Take their time with this offense.
Well, you don't get many more gift opportunities than this when you are 2 breaks down, being given the disc back on your own end zone, on the opposition's end zone line even. Hocking faking that scuba, back to Sexton. Just grinding and winning the battle to the front corner space. Nice snatch from Hocking.
Very used to that handler movement. That's a big part of the game at Bristol. Lisa following her passes, catching things like that, and then unleashing deep if she needs to. Rare for her to be in the end zone, but you know that always catches teams off guard.
It is indeed one of the things you can do when you just sit in that handler space, and you know people predict, because especially on sand, you really have to be able to commit to the thing you are taking away, because you cannot oftentimes rely on that agility and that footwork to get you out of jail when you've overcommitted to something. So it's a good use of that grind. Still under a lot of pressure though to make that grab.
Definitely, yeah, well retrieved there. As we see the pull go up from Pelt. Good. Zürich again doing a good job to isolate the downfield players. Oh, an unfortunate throwaway there. Yeah, Pelt looking for the quick turn.
Popping it back. McKeown. Again, we see, I don't think Emily Sexton's gotten off the pitch yet. Of course, it's quite a short squad for both of these teams. Zürich have bought the minimum 10 on their roster. I think there's just one extra body for Pelt. That one's going to just sail up and just sit in the wind. Sarah Folk collecting the second goal for Pelt, and that's a break right back.
Yeah, Christina McKeown and Emma Sexton really running the offense there. You could see Christina point where she wanted the cut to come, and she managed to create the space herself by throwing it over the defender. Really creative upwind offense there.
So you've been playing out here on the pitches, Jamie. How's it been in the weather conditions so far today?
Yeah, so our first game today was on the stream pitch. Luckily, we weren't a part of the first round of open games, which was during the rain and had a lot of chaos going on. We came out here to the stream pitch, had what I will call a lesson handed to us by Frisbee of France. We, a lot of the team haven't played together, and it was finding those connections. Towards the end of the game, we definitely managed to pick back up, but the wind on this stream pitch is, you can see from the flags towards the right side from where the camera is. The flags are fairly calm, but down the left end of the pitch, you can see that wind whipping across from the sea. So quite interesting conditions to play in. You really have to think about those throws and adjust based on where you are on the pitch. So really good to see teams getting creative. As we see an excellent pickup there, again from Camilla Carosio.
Yeah, Carosio indeed. Getting a face full of sand. That one's going to bobble up but be recaught on the second for Tutillon. One of the most fun players for this Zürich side, and again getting horizontal Camilla Carosio for the goal for Zürich. And I think, Jamie, that was a little look at a Pelt zone for us.
Yeah, it was indeed. It can be, really interesting to try and play a zone on the beach as there's so much space, but with this wind you did see Zürich have to bail out a couple of throws that could easily have been turns caused by that zone. So I won't be surprised to see Pelt try that zone again, likely when Zürich is shooting upwind.
Well, making excellent use of the conditions. Another look at that fabulous free catch from Alexandre Tutillon. And both teams obviously looking to try and get their first win of the tournament in this game. I have a feeling that we won't see either of them necessarily in the championship bracket unless they do something quite magnificent against the top teams in Pool B in the women's division. As we see, an unfortunate error trying to make the grab is Eva Lihan. But Zürich trying to make a fast break here. There's a bit of a poach off the hands, but looking firmly upfield. Niederberger with a lovely swan into space. The layout is there, but the catch is not.
Again, some very patient offense from Zürich and great isolation, just a slight overthrow there.
If you were coaching Pelt, what would be your advice in terms of trying to shut down that isolation play upfield? More zone?
I think so far Zürich haven't proven that they want to throw the disc, want to throw hucks. So I would be absolutely telling the team to stop those unders, see what Zürich can do, make them prove that they can throw those deep throws.
Well, Pelt doing a pretty good job of keeping the disc alive, but that inside shot for the break is a little bit too much of an ask. Louise Murphy making the bid, but unable to collect that one from a low pocket. And Zürich with almost the full stretch to go upfield. Good swinging movement. Again. Big shot from Ciavatoni. But that is going to be a bit too much of an ask. Michelle Stucker trying to get underneath it, but that one did not have anywhere near the required loft on it, especially with the wind behind, although it has dropped a little bit.
It has, yeah, as you can hopefully see from the flags.
We do like a bit of extra pitch decoration just to make it obvious.
Very helpful as a player, always checking the flags.
Hocking with a very gentle throw as Breeze throws the nice inside to McKeown. Egan on that fetching bucket hat. Oh, but a collision in the centre pitch. Christina McKeown getting a bit of a face batter from her matchup. Hopefully she'll be okay. They do have two Kyones, both sisters, actual sisters. But with such short rosters, hopefully she'll be able to return to play. Never nice to get a knock to the face.
No, definitely not. Looks like, yeah, maybe a shoulder or something, which is not fun, but she looks to be okay. Standing back up now. Hopefully see her back on the pitch later in the game.
We've got a very present sideline. Not all of the Irish teams that are here at the European Beach Championships, of which there are many.
There are, indeed. I was, yeah, surprised by how keen the Irish are for Beach Ultimate, but they come here, they get to enjoy some sun, which I imagine is less common in their Irish training sessions.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jamie. It's certainly every time I've been to Ireland recently, it's been wall-to-wall sunshine, exactly like Limerick at Masters last year. Definitely no rain at all. No, absolute hats off, to be fair, to the groundskeepers in Limerick, and we look forward to them having fantastic pitch maintenance later on as we see a huge smack-D from Zürich.
As Beatrice Ciabattoni with an excellent read on that to cut in front of the offensive player, get that block.
I reckon she probably had the time to catch it, which would be my only point for improvement. But, you know, bring out those big slap blocks for the stream. Nice idea on the poach off at Egan there. Oh, but going with the casual single hand. Hagman coming unglued.
Let's see if Pelt can put this in with the short field.
Well, this just for their hold. They currently trail one break. Sexton surveying her options, finds Hocking. Those two not normally teammates, but seem to be developing some good chemistry early stages in this tournament. And there we go, an inside shot through traffic from Hocking. She ordered Sexton up the pitch to try and make that upline cut into the end zone we saw her do earlier on today. And a little bit of trying to tan the old tummy there, I think.
Yeah, an excellent connection there from Hocking and Sexton. Hopefully see plenty more of that as the weekend goes on. This Pelt O-line looking very solid. Once they can find their flow, they're doing really good things. Just need to try and get that pressure back on the defense now. This is a good chance for them with the downwind defensive point to really put that pressure on, hopefully get that break.
So when the players on the sideline start doing some sort of like weird hula dancing to try and encourage the winds to gust that extra little bit of hard.
I don't know, it does seem to be picking back up a little bit, so maybe it's working.
Well, we have had some games this season that have been pretty windy. My mind goes a little bit back to that women's final that we had for the Elite Invite, where it seemed like a certain team, when they had the disc in hand, the wind seemed to just drop and disappear for them almost. But
that's an excellent pull.
Yeah, talk about form. We know that Irish women are pretty good at throwing, but that was excellent.
Again, Zürich have done so well to move that disc forward with the isolated players. Good pick up there from Carosio again, and the disc goes high.
Yeah, very well caught. Great read from Tutiao. Good effort from the force to be big, though, to try and make that difficult, throw as difficult as possible. That goal is going to stand. Camilla Carosio had a little chat to her mark, perhaps a potential for a pick, but all retracted, and that's going to be good enough for the break.
Yeah, Zürich starting now to open up a little bit, find those gaps over the defense, which, yeah, Pelt are going to have to adapt something. Again, I think trying that zone, it could be a good option for them. Seemed to work quite well, even if it didn't get them the turn. It forced 3 difficult catches, so maybe that's something they'll try again shortly.
Yeah, I did like the spoil on the huck in the zone. That wasn't the nicest disc that went to Alexandra Tutian, even though she made it look fairly easy.
Yes, yeah.
But that is what you expect at a high-level tournament, is players making high difficulty rating catches look pretty, almost like child's play. So Ciabattoni with the pole. It's going to land just in bounds on that far sideline. Another relatively deep one, and Hocking with a straight up drop and a gift for Zürich. They're not swarming around the end zone, still maintaining that excellent spacing and an easy open side pass. Ciabattoni finding Michelle Stucker there. One of the more serious players on Zürich, I have to say. We were chatting to them ahead of the game. She was dubbed as the one that keeps them all on the level, stops the silliness from becoming too much. Because Ultimate Teams are often quite silly people, Jamie.
Yes, they can be indeed. I'd have to agree, but most teams probably have at least that one serious player to keep them in check.
Well, you need one, right? It's the same as like you've got different roles on the pitch. Sometimes you need those different roles off pitch to make sure it all stays. Because otherwise, you're not an ultimate team anymore. You're just a gaggle of people with a frisbee at some point that probably don't make it to your games on time.
Yes, that is. That punctuality is one of those big things. You need someone being strict on that.
Someone who had a bit of a reputation for being an occasional strict presence was probably Hocking, who now has the disc. Hopefully she'll have a nice short memory after that error on the previous point.
I'm sure she will. Yeah, she, you know, is only human. Does make those errors, but is very good at bouncing back.
Are you sure she's human? I thought she was just a taekwondo fighting machine, Jamie.
Yeah, she can kick me in the head, and that is no mean feat considering I am very tall.
How tall exactly?
2 meters. As we see, a great contest in the air there between Hocking and Crocio. But that's a turnover. We'll see if Zürich can work the disc all the way up the pitch. Again, looking to isolate those cutters.
Yep, favouring the 2 upfield and 3 back in the handler set. I don't mind that at all. Deep shot is available. A bit too much space given to Tutillon. She's going to absolutely overthrow it though and can't quite get the catch. Swallowed up by the sand monster. I think that's Emily Kai.
Pelt really have to capitalise on this now if they want to stay in this game.
Oh no, I take it back. It's not Kai, it's Lauren Chi, the other North American wearing a 7 on her shirt, even not short. Well, also probably her shorts. But came across to have her masters in Zürich. Did Lauren Chi. Responsible for one of the highlights ahead of this game, if Zürich can win it, of having Canadian-American pancakes this morning. But that's Hocking that's going to have to reach deep. Oh. Just shy of the layout goal. Well, that would have looked spectacular if it had come off. An injury call, though.
Just a winding, I think.
Well, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Hocking obviously planning on playing a decent amount of Frisbee this season.
Yeah, indeed. Bristol have not full schedule tournament-wise, but we're trying to do a lot of training. Obviously have Windmill next week, which is a great opportunity to build those connections. Lots of development-type tournaments early in the season. They will ramp back up later on, hopefully looking to get back towards Euros and do some big things there again, just like last season. Hocking will be a key part of that. That's a great find there from Amanda Lobel.
Hugman pops that one out, but it just dribbles out of the hand of Emily Kai. Can't quite keep that one. And a little hand slap there from the battle. Lucy Aubrey, another of the Brits coming across, playing for this Pelt side. In fact, Lucy Aubrey, big shout out to her. She comes from the same hometown as me. Oh. So we've already, when I found this out earlier today, we said we'd go for a throw together. It's one of the things I love about Frisbee players is you meet someone who lives down the road from you and immediately it's a, should we hang out?
Oh yeah, for sure. Someone to throw with. There's a foul called there. Having a discussion now.
Looked like a relatively fair battle, but yeah, certainly some contact in the mix.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward throw, but looks like Hannah Wilson feels like she had position on the disc and felt contact that affected her catching it. And so yeah, they'll discuss. It's a foul, uncontested there.
Yep, so accepted, and Wilson will retain possession with the full stretch to go. Love the pressure on the mark, really shutting down that right sense. Oh, and a little poach into the lane, gets too cheeky and allows that easy reset. Wilson yelling for her teammates to get out of her channel and give her a bit of room to throw that absolute bomb into the deep space, but that's going to be collected relatively easily by Kai.
And a classic conservation of greatness there. Very good defense and unfortunate throwaway to follow it up. Pelt here very much starting to look for those deep options. They are potentially getting a little bit tired and needing to make those bigger shapes. Excellent under there.
Oh, a slightly early toss there. You could see the cut developing from Louise Murphy, and Joanna Egan also saw it and went, oh yes, but a touch too hasty. Great sideline energy coming from Pelt. And hear those Irish accents trying to G up. But as we said, not as many of the Irish teams currently here at this tournament in the stands, and a timeout being called. I think you're right, Jamie. The players on the pitch looking a little bit gassed. So as they take a break, we will too here in the booth. Don't go any though. We will see you with more after this.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
July from Nottingham, England. The World Flying Disc Federation's World Under-24 Ultimate Championships. Live all-access coverage, including semis and finals, exclusively at ultiworld.com.
Women's division here at the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2023. Myself, Hannah Pendlebury, alongside the commentary debuting Jamie Rabbits. How are you feeling about this game so far?
It's been a good game, yeah. Both teams playing a lot of really good offense. Zürich doing a really good job to isolate these downfield cutters, as we see right here with that excellent inside shot. But yeah, competitive game.
Oh, big effort from Wilson to try and best Tutiyam. And a great peel off too. That one's going to be taken up though. Just about enough space under it to make the play. But Kai comes up empty-handed. Look at the heads up. Never leaves the disc unmeasured.
Can we see a bit more of a patient offense here after the timeout?
Wilson fakes the high release to Egan and then takes her as she... It's just allowed that space on the far sideline. Maybe Zürich looking to allow players to get to that side of the pitch and then try and apply the trap, which is not a move I hate on beach.
That's not a move I hate in general.
Shepherding and then trapping. Yeah,
yes.
It's pretty well worn at this point, isn't it?
You will often find me screaming around at my team. Especially in coaching situations when we're on that sideline.
Well, talking about coaching, I think we do actually have a little bit of coaching action. I think Niall McCarthy for Pelt is strutting his stuff down the sideline, giving some wisdom.
Always good to have someone who's not been tiring themselves out during the game to be able to shout useful information to the team.
Yeah, and just give that sort of, you know, extra bit of more objectivity as we see a lovely upline cut streaking into the end zone. I think that's Louise Murphy finally being connected with after doing so much work running into that deep space.
Yeah, excellent flow there in the end from Pelt, moving the disc all the way across the pitch and then finally putting in that assist towards the back of the end zone. Again, great chance for them to come out firing on defense, see what they can do. I would expect to see Zürich with those big isolated plays, and with the wind behind them, I won't be surprised if they look to put something deep, which is always exciting. So hopefully they hear me and they go for that.
Well, you are quite a softly spoken gentleman, Jamie. I think maybe they'll have to be having someone secretly listening to the commentary on in the bleachers. I do actually find that a genuine compliment, that we sometimes do spot people with their sort of phones to their ears and they're actually listening to us on a 30-second delay live at the tournament. That's proper commentary dedication. But looking at the stats so far of this game, it's really starting to rise in terms of the pass counts. That one for Pelt took 11 passes. So let's see if Stucker can find a way to make shorter work, but no, it's going to be a turnover, a frustrated pass after some tight match pressure from Pelt.
Hocking there, calling for the Pelt cutters to come a bit closer, see if they can get into that flow that they've been so good at.
Mikion with a bit of a laser, can't quite hit Janika Burson.
Pelt do well to get back into their defensive set.
Nice up line, but that's going to be well shepherded.
Really good defense there from Ava Lihan. Yeah, she clears out. Disc is centered.
Lots of faking, but not much action really upfield. The handlers now having to put things on their back a little bit to get the resets. Hocking going all the way around the world. A little bit of a button hook around the back. Nice find to Folk.
There. You can see the tiredness creeping in. A good find there from Hocking. Looking to center again. Moving up little by little.
High floaty disc into the deep space from Hocking. I don't mind that option. It's perhaps again a little bit too early on the release for Beach, but the wind direction has changed slightly. It's now more of a sort of crosswind diagonally left to right on the pitch as we see Carosio with the disc in hand and lots of momentum. She does want to chuck that one into the deep space, and it is beautifully weighted, but just almost becomes invisible there. How did that not connect?
An excellent throw there in the downwind, just slightly faded out at the end to make it a little bit awkward to catch, but that's really tough to even get that in the path of the receiver. So Pelt fortunate there to get another go at offense. As you see, they've slightly changed up their handler set, get Hocking in the downfield, see if we can get her initiating, getting some movement going. And so far, it's working, halfway up the pitch.
Yeah, I think the upfield cutters were just a little bit too static, perhaps, you know, a little bit tired. It is just about 20 to 7 p.m. here, local time, so definitely late on to play a game of glorious beach alternate. That's going to be tracked down. It's going to be caught. What a goal for Pelt!
That's exactly what they needed to do. An excellent call to mix up the positions there. Hocking running that point, floating that disc into the end zone. Really good for Pelt. That's exactly what they needed. Gets them back to that 5-all scoreline. Very glad that we've chosen to stream this game right now in this pool. Really exciting battle here between these two teams.
Well, as we've already mentioned, some of the other results thus far for these two sides have been scorelines that have eventually had a lot more gap between them. And this one, of course, we reckon it probably is going to be for deciding the bottom two spots in the pool, so neither team unless they're able to get some big wins against some of the big names here in the women's division tomorrow, we won't be seeing them advance into the championship bracket, but this is turning out to be quite the exciting tussle. So Zürich on offense after conceding the break of score. Pelt second, so we're nearly on serve, and that's going to give them that extra bit of hope. Sexton. Nice find to Hocking. Tell you what, Hocking playing a lot of points for Pelt.
Doing double duty there.
Absolutely. Well, she does have the legs for it. That last point was one of the few players that seemed to have that vim and vitality. Puts one over the top to Wilson. What a lovely shot.
Just given creative access there for Hocking, and Pelt put in the score. That is Joanne Egan.
Yeah, lovely high grab over the laying defender. Well, I'll tell you what, 3 on the bounce for Pelt, and we are in business. And we now have a second Pelt coach on the sideline wearing these black and yellow shirts, if you can spot them, darting around.
Yeah, playing on the team Show Me Them TDs. We just played our game against them. Started very well. They brought it back, I think, very close towards the end. Unfortunately, I missed the second half, but managed to get across the line. One of the many Irish teams at the tournament, as previously mentioned.
Indeed. Niall Budget Channing Tatum McCarthy, as he was dubbed backing Carol Lay at Budget Italians. Well, we'll keep the reasoning for that particular name, but it's lovely to see the lads from Pelt coming over and supporting their women's side. I believe this is the first international appearance ever for Pelt women. Showing us that they have some fantastic and capable young players coming out of Ireland.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Pelt is combining their forces for a mixed team this season in the sort of Irish nationals and likely UK nationals, or
EUCR West,
that's
as
the
it's
one
known.
I'm looking for.
Indeed. Well, there's a real opportunity in the mixed division because EUCR West will have plenty of extra bids, with many teams having snagged their tickets to EUCF later on this season. Great effort on the layout there from Flavia Hagman.
I have to say, we have not been short of incredible efforts and plays this game. Been very exciting so far. I think that's just the great thing about the beach. You are never short of those athletic plays.
Well, and also a live stream on the beach. This is where, if you're going to do it in the tournament, you've got to bring it out here. As that one tries to finally hang. Oh, big collision, friendly fire for the Zürich players. I think an injury is going to be called. Looks of it, Emily Kite getting her to her feet. Just a little cuddle to show that they didn't mean it.
It's always the worst when it's friendly fire, but again, jogging off the pitch, hopefully see her again later in the game. Just a bit of a knock, have a sit down, regroup.
And sort of of her own doing, really. She kind of came into that pack quite hot. And to be fair, as the smallest player, I think out of the 3, was the person to catch the disc. So Zürich with possession, Tutia. Deep shot, that's going to be McKeown bested on the read. Stucker.
Pelt doing well there to seal the options off. Force the turn again. Pelt really stepping up in the later stages of this game. Seeing if they can take down half time by putting this offense in.
So McKeown with the bucket hat to keep the hot sun of Royan off of her skin. It's a lovely leader to Burson.
Really good movement to get through there, and puts up the hook.
It's going to be sitting out of bounds though. Oh, not quite, just out of contention to be caught. Great idea, expansive use of the deep space, but not the execution I think she had in mind.
Really like to see Pelt trying to expand their game a bit here. It's working well for them so far. Also has that advantage of turning over, making the other team work harder, go further down the pitch.
Well, and also this is Pelt, on defense. This is keeping your ideal set of 5 for Zürich on the pitch as long as humanly possible, trying to, ground them into granules as thin and delicate as the sand itself. I'll tell you who's not delicate, though. It's Alexandra Tutian. Has a real good go at that layout bid, but just gets ground stripped.
Yeah, as you were saying, really good opportunity to rest some of those Pelt players who have been doing a lot of work. Hocking and Sexton, great opportunity as we see another huge put. Just out the side of the pitch there.
Yeah, second attempt of Janika Burson at the kind of that big backhand, but another one that just sails too fast to the left. Just not quite the right release point. Bringing it back into play, Tutia.
And see, again, lots of space for those Zürich cutters to move into.
But they're not quite working out so well in the later stage of this game. Perhaps that short roster of 10. I mean, Pelt only have 1 extra pair of legs, but maybe that is a difference maker here. Of course, the minimum roster size you can bring to the EBUCC is 10.
As we see a third attempt, will this one connect? No.
Well, it does connect, just with the defender. But at least someone caught it.
There from Tution.
Yeah, not a player you want to put any sky balls near. Well, unless you're on offense, in which case you might want to, because she has been on the money all day today. Lovely one up pitch. Oh!
Great defense.
I can understand that. We could hear a what sounded distinctly like a catch.
Good effort there, but well resolved.
Oh, absolutely. McKeown doing a great job of getting her hand in the cookie jar, just didn't quite manage to snap out the biscuit before the lid got shut.
The disc back with Strucker now. Excellent centre there. It's exactly where Zürich wants to be for their end zone offense.
Tutia, one end to the space. Oh, and well clutched. Great grab for Zürich, and they maintain the lead. Actually, no, I say that back. They're trailing. 6-all, 6 apiece. Statsman Benji Rees keeping us well
Indeed,
flushed.
6-all. Let's see who can take the half.
Indeed, we have a Galaxy point. We love to see it. How do you feel, Jamie, about the fact that we don't actually have timed halves? Because this game is 45 minutes of regulation time.
Interesting.
And whereas, obviously, sort of grass tournaments this season, we have timed halves when half of the allotted time has expired. These beach games have that brutal impact of, if you do not win the toss and you don't get to half, sorry.
So I was under the impression that there was supposed to be timed halves, but I could be very wrong. I'm sure that we have hit 1 timed half, so it's a potential that has already happened. Maybe when that timeout was called, maybe that was really a half time. Because I think that you're right that would be a disadvantage to have to not, to start on that defense and never get the chance to flip it.
Well, it would be a curious choice, but we'll have to check ourselves, check what the rules exactly are here at EBUCC, as we see Wilson pop one in front of Hocking. Hannah Wilson, of course, we said she's a Pelt athlete through and through, but will, of course, be captaining, 1 or 2 co-captains for the Ireland under-24s this season. So a couple of weeks for Wilson as she claims the goal for Pelt before she goes on the world stage in Nottingham.
Yeah, it's really well worked again from Pelt. They're starting to find that flow and trust each other more, hit those tighter gaps, and it's going really well for them now. Let's see if they can carry that through the rest of the game.
Well, we're not sure if it's truly for half, but Pelt grabbing themselves the advantage here against Zürich Ultimate Swarm. fun bit of factology for you, actually. So Emily Kai, who, as we say, originally from New Jersey, is an engineer who's come across to Zurich for work. She's actually from a original college team that have a not dissimilar name to Zurich Ultimate Swarm. It's from Swarthmore College War Mothers.
Interesting, the War Mothers.
Yeah.
I'm always intrigued as to how teams land on their names, and that one I would be interested to know what the origin was.
Lovely bit of singing from the Pelt lads. Kieran Flint and Niall McCarthy getting loud to support their athletes in the fetching green shirts with the iconic snail.
Yeah, speaking of kit, I've been reviewing the kits I've seen across the beach, and so far I actually think that the Zurich kit is my favourite. I think it's really clean, and with the shorts and the gold trim, I am a very big fan, so kudos to whoever designed that.
Yeah, I'm not normally a fan of the kind of golds or any kind of striped trim around a sleeve or an end of a short, but you're right. On the Zurich kit, there's something about it that just works beautifully.
I can tell you what it is. It's the fact that the number on the kit matches the trim. I think it's a work of art. Unfortunately, we do see them turn the disc. This does give Pelt that upwind chance, and they do have their O-line on.
Well, I like the use of the zone. That one escaping Joanna Egan as she goes up high to try and make the snag.
Oh, and straight back the other way from Zurich. An excellent downwind throw.
Oh, what?
That's a goal. Incredible athletic grab there from Chia Battoni.
Oh, absolute. What a counter-attack there as we see time having expired. So I think, if my eyes do not deceive me, we might be treated to a universe point. But we'll have to confirm.
Scorekeepers.
Yo! So we're just getting intel from the sidelines as to if this is universe point. So it is indeed universe point. There we go, confirmed. This one going as we expected, as we forecast, as we picked for this live stream. Neck and neck, 7 apiece. So Zurich, having started out with the advantage by getting them, well, so they didn't really have the advantage because they lost the toss, but those 2 breaks, can Pelt come out and close this one?
Excellent cut there and a great take from Hannah Wilson. Has put in a big shift this game. Oh, an unfortunate drop there from Joan Egan on this universe point.
You could hear the clap of doom from our booth as she just had nothing but air between her palms.
Can Pelt put the pressure on? It looks to be a bit of an FM from the O-line. Oh, the disc goes up in the air. It's going to fade left.
There's time, there's opportunity, there's space to make a play, but it's the second ask.
Excellent grab.
Tamara Niederberger, the pickup from Solabang, finishing this one off the Zurich Ultimate Swarm. And that will be just enough. 8-7 to the ladies from Switzerland, but extremely well fought back from Pelt after conceding those 2 to open up the game. There's a little bit of confusion out here on the stream pitch. Pelt didn't seem to be communicated with that was universe point. The scorekeeper just popping onto the pitch to let them know. So if that one to Marla Niederberger stands, that should be the end of the game. But what a second catch.
Yeah, a really good effort. It was a great read from the defence, but yeah, just able to keep her eye on the disc and retrieve that for the goal. As we see here, yeah, no doubt in her mind that disc is going deep.
Well, has the step around of Hocking, obviously hitting that break side nice and hard. The little bobble off the hands from going up early, but
just still figuring out whether the game is over.
Which, honestly, fair enough.
Yeah.
We have seen it on the live stream before where a scorekeeper has got it wrong. They have got the timing correct. So I love the fact that both teams are just making sure, having the full discussion, because obviously self-officiated sport, you know, there is an onus on both teams to understand what is going on.
Yeah, we do see both teams with most of their players on the line, ready to go. And it has been called as the game. An unfortunate way to end the game with the confusion. However, an excellent game throughout, very competitive. I think both teams can be happy with their performances there. Hopefully take that forwards into the rest of the tournament.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, in terms of perhaps Pelt might have feel a little bit robbed there. There was obviously the drop from Egan. It did look like really fantastic offense, and certainly I think probably one of the stronger lines we've seen come out from them on offense. You know, that late game management was there. Perhaps maybe not quite the thought in their heads of this is University in a must-win situation, but very great performance from both teams. Hats off to Zürich. Out maintaining it at the end, getting that last break on board. But for myself, Hannah Penderbury, it's been a pleasure to bring you this game. Thank you for joining us in the booth, Jamie. Will you be back?
Thank you very much for having me. I hope so, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we will be bringing you wall-to-wall action for the rest of the game slots here. We have 2 more for you. We will be having some mixed division action next from Poland and Austria. Axley and GTF Gleisdorf. So stay tuned for that. For all of us here at ULTI.TV, thank you for watching, and we'll see you for more on the other side.
Those who do not know their history can never relive it. The skies, the dives, the sideline smiles. Our past is held in photo albums, drinking stories. The present is a gift. And here at ULTI.TV, we want to make sure we always appreciate it, capturing the immortal moments of Ultimate from around the world and making sure everyone can enjoy them for free, forever. Because the future belongs to all of us.
The World Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2024. Whether on the sands or watching the action from your screen, WBUCC 2024 is a tournament not to be missed.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.
Final reaction or boring, we came up. You give it a reaction. Down, boy, to roll.